Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How was the weekend? Amazing? Okay, you had a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend? Decent, not bad? Okay. Good weekend, Andrea? Yeah? Okay. On a call? So, voice is so... No? All good? Okay. Today I was... So we had some very interesting calls last week. We had a good week last week in terms of business as well. I was thinking of something very interesting. So every week I try and tell you guys some sort of hack, right? That's the whole perspective of this business, right? So the hack this week I have is that I just realized that on every call, like for example, when you guys get on a call with a client, right? The objective is to close the deal, right?
No.
What's your objective? Okay, what is your objective? Seriously.
Educate.
Huh?
Educate.
Your objective is to educate the client.
The first three calls, not the first three. You don't try and close the first calls.
Good morning.
Yes, she's processing. She's still processing, buffering. It's okay. No, but what I'm trying to say is that sometimes we have this tunnel vision, right? That the objective is to close. I just realized that on every client I meet, whether I'm in the meeting or I'm on the call, right? I think about content actually. So all my content is actually based on some sort of pain point given by the investor. I swear, so probably Puneet is a live example of this, where last week we've been spending hours with this client. And I promise you, we didn't talk anything about real estate. Nothing about real estate, okay? We spoke nothing about real estate. And in terms of deal values, we have closed, I don't even know, but we closed to 10 million mark, right? I spoke nothing about real estate. We're talking about, we're laughing, we're joking, we're understanding, I'm telling this guy, oh wow, every time I meet you, I get content ideas. Like I haven't even made that reel. He gave me this sentence, I want to make a reel on it that, oh, you cannot buy your way into Spain, but you can come by a boat. It's insane, like he gave me ideas like this, So I made this video that Dubai South exposed. It was not my idea. Like some client asked me about Gadir, okay? And I started researching about Gadir, and I was like, what is this? And then, because he was so convinced by another agent, and then somebody else came to me about Hayat, and somebody told me, like, make a video on it. And I was like, okay, let me do my research. And then I started studying pros and cons. Similarly, I was on so we went for paddle. Between paddle, we were on a call, okay? And now in that call, I had this client, and he was convinced on Dubai. So he was sitting in Germany, okay? And he was convinced on Dubai South. He's like, listen, Zohaib, I don't want to invest into the mass market, okay? See, look at where I live, So he goes out, he shows this entire park and buildings and everything. See, and he's like, because it's G+5, G+7, it's limited, it's scarcity, and so I always gain value. I don't want to invest into a mass market, So a lot of people told me, Nashama, but I want to invest, that's why I want to invest in Dubai South. And I'm looking at this guy, right? And I was like, okay, so, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I've got this section, okay, so I'm not going to talk about before the airport. I'm talking about after the airport. Okay, after the airport, I've got Imar South. Imar South, I've got 15,000 apartments, 7,000 townhouses and villas. After that, I've got Beria Town, 20 million square feet of land. No one knows. No one knows what's going to happen in Beria. Beria is a surprise. Then it's a surprise. It came as a surprise. It still is a surprise, And then we have Azizi Venice, 38,000 units. And then you have, so I kept telling him all the things. And then he started, because when you have those numbers in place, and then I told him the next trip I'm dealing with, okay, which we were trying to talk to him about, let's say Beyond, you know, where it's like, okay, we've got Gar Foods, let's understand the supply over there. Barari, let's understand the supply. Wilds, let's understand the supply. Dubai Hills, that's one belt, right? So then it clicked, and then it clicked him and me. I was like, oh wow, next video. You know? So every single, so when I'm with see now, I'll tell you what the advantage is of doing it that way. When you are with a client and let's say your life depends on it, because you're supposed to get content from this one investor, right? So you're going to ask him questions that way, right? You're going to discuss things with him, understand his pain points. Like, what have you seen? I'll give you another example, okay? I met this guy who works in DIFC, okay? So he was like, Zohaib, I work in One Central Tower, okay? Are you guys aware of One Central?
Yes.
Yeah? So I work in One Central Tower. I just got a child. He's 2 years old. I want a house which is 20 to 25 minutes away from this place, but I need a bedroom downstairs, and ideally a closed kitchen. And then I started asking more questions. You know, I said, okay, what have you seen so far? What is it that you liked? You know, so I'm trying to So in criminal investigation, you do profiling of the suspect, right? Similarly, it's a great. Similarly, you got to do profiling. You know, if you have salespeople, right? You need to understand. So I started asking questions. He's like, no, I haven't seen much. And I was like, there must be some floor plan that you connected with. He's like, oh, I really like Muruj Al Furjan. I was like, yeah, that's a great choice. That's fantastic. But yeah, the price doesn't make sense because the price has hit a certain ceiling. And then I started giving my examples. And that, see, the advantage I have of experience is that I've seen so much of stuff and see. And so I start my storytelling, right? But my storytelling was not to close the deal, is to get more information out of the guy. So I told him, oh yeah, man, you know, I went to Ranches 3. I saw Kaya and Elisa. I didn't like it. It is so weird, you know. I step into the garage. If I step out of the garage, I might get hit by a car. You know, like it's like literally like half a meter is the path. You know, and what is the objective of a house? You know, I want a nice frontage. See, if I'm going to an independent villa, I want a nice frontage. I want a nice plot. And here in Kaya and Elisa will pick and choose. One has a plot, one doesn't. One has ensuite bathrooms, one does. And it's like you have to pick it. You can't get everything. Yeah? So why? You know, it's so weird. And if I'm paying that kind of price for it, you know. So when I started telling him my pain, he started giving his pain. You know, and I'm like, okay. Then I started observing the villa, and so we got into such an interesting, engaging conversation. And then I'm taking in points for my content. So it's a win-win situation. Do you understand? Because I've removed the objective of closing the deal. I am trying to think what my next content is. Why? See, if this one person has this particular pain point, there'll be at least 100 people like him who has the same pain point. So let's say this guy is a guy who wanted a bedroom downstairs, wants at least 5,000 square foot built up, wants to be 20 to 25 minutes away from DIFC. If I do my due diligence, I can make an amazing video out of it. You know, we both will talk about the products that he liked. We both will talk about the products that he did not like. You know, so I don't have to. I can reference it from his perspective. You know, so I won't say mine. So because if I say I didn't like Elisa and Kaya, you know, Imar will probably ban me. But if I'm saying it's not me, it's him. You know, so so every investor, because then maybe you will intrigue your investor as well. Because see, sometimes I don't think we sometimes take our investors for granted. I'm guessing. I don't. Maybe. Because if you are with an investor solely on the perspective that, okay, I want to close the deal, energies are felt, you feel that. But at the same time, see, I'm like a little 5-year-old kid. Oh yeah, wow, okay, tell me about this. Okay, give me more. Because in my head, I'm already creating a profile, I'm getting an idea, I'm thinking of, okay, what do I do next? Yesterday I was on a call, not a call, in fact, it was a chat with an investor who constantly invests, okay? So he was talking to me about this Aldar's new project, right? Yas Point, right? And he's like, what do you think? And I was like, hey, you know what? Personally, I'll tell you my perspective. And I think that, okay, this is the first time Yas has something with like a private beach access, and there's a community being built. They're spending around 6 billion. That looks interesting. The supply makes sense. It's around 1,700 units. I personally prefer this location to Hudayariyat. I feel like Hudayariyat is a bit on the end, but there was nothing else better compared. I had no comparison to Hudayariyat. So that's why, but this looks like a very competitive product. But if the pricing is like Fahid, okay, I wasn't impressed by the pricing of Fahid. Now what I'm going to do is, thank you for this idea. I'm going to make a video where I'm going to use benchmarks, right? I'm going to take products like Fahid, product like Ramhan, Hudayariyat's first launch, okay? At the same period when these were launched, I'll take the best launches, because let's say these were the best launches in Abu Dhabi at a time, okay? At the same time, I'll take the best launches at that phase in Ras Al Khaimah. And I'll take the best launches in that phase in Dubai. And I'll tell you how each stock performed. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to wait 10 years, right? I tell you that in this market, there were stocks in Valley that performed, right? At the end of the day, we sold in Valley, in Alana, in profit, in this market. In Barari, there are products that sold in profit. In Oasis, I'm not talking about higher profit or lower profit, but it was still profit, right? At the same time, can Abu Dhabi and Ras Al Khaimah markets say the same? What is the debate? The debate is that, oh, okay, it's like investing in Dubai in 2015. That's the stupidest debate I've heard. It doesn't make sense. That's not a debate, right? Because technically then at the same phase, Dubai will also grow, right? Okay, let's say the supply is absolutely minimum. Okay, there's a very, very limited supply. See, again, I'm not negating. I'm just saying that what if, okay, I have 5 million dirhams to spend. That 5 million dirhams, do you want to put it over here? Do you want to put it over here? Do you want to put it over here? I give you the option. I'm not going to tell you what's good and bad. But more than that, it again gave me content ideas. Do you get it? With every investor of mine, I've completely shifted the objective, which creates such a big win-win situation. You will start treating investors in a way they've never been treated before. Because every investor that you're going to speak with is speaking to at least 5 to 10 other agents or brokers, right? Minimum. And everyone's going to say, this is the best, I am the best. And everyone's going to say that, At the same time, when you start having a conversation with a complete different perspective, hey, let's analyze this, let's understand it. Okay, let's look at it like a stock. Okay, let me do a comparative analysis. Okay, this is a 3 to 5 year prediction of your stock. But if I compare it with these 3 different markets, I think let's assess it in that way, When we start having conversations like these, that's when you start closing deals, So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys today about, that, every time you're on a call with an investor, maybe change your perspective. Just remove the deal closing part, Have a real conversation. Then don't fake it, What's wrong in being technical? I started assessing my competition, right? So I'll tell you who's my competition. My competition is either people who have started 10 years before me, minimum, okay? My competition are TikTokers. Apart from that, in my field, no one can compete against me. And I feel like, and my field or what I'm doing has sustainability. means, see, TikTok is a trend. Trends die. But what we're doing is maybe boring. Technical is sometimes boring, but it has sustainability. And there's so much we can build to it.
For me, it was like,
There is no absolute hack, right? There's no absolute hack. With every investor, it's different. So that is why we are paid so well as well, right? With every investor, and maybe the people I've taken calls with, everyone I've taken calls with, you must have noticed that at every client, I'm probably different on the call. Have you noticed that, Zara? Because nowadays I'm doing I think so many calls with Zara, have you noticed? Okay, my predominant angle is the same. But because after many calls, Zara calls, tells me like, why did you speak that to the client? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Right? So it's different. Like the paddle guy was different, the car guy was different. You see, because you gotta see, because human beings are different, right? So you cannot have the same sort of angle with everyone. But the baselines, they can change, we can work on a few baselines. But that brings me to an important point. See, nowadays, I'm building a team, and we are trying to work towards partnering with a REIT, with a fund. Okay. So what's going to happen with that is we'll have again options, because see, there are people who may not want to invest only in off-plan. Do you understand? So if someone like that tells you, okay, I don't want to invest in off-plan, he's like, okay, then how about I suggest you something with a structured fund, where we will pick up institutional grade assets and you can invest into that. So you close the deal that way. Do you understand? So you,
yeah, it will like that. Yeah.
of course, that's a no-brainer.
The same with 5.
Exactly. So I will tell you the kind of assets that I'm going towards. I'm going towards picking up this commercial grade A building on Sheikh Zayed Road. I'm going to pick up this school. I'm going to pick up this hospital, whatever, and you have your option which fund you want to invest in. As of now, it's individual. At some stage, it'll be joint, or you have either options if you want to diversify your portfolio. Slowly, I'll be educating everyone on the fund as well. But it's a new process, So, but again, all these steps are moving towards. See, that's the beauty of being technical. See, when you're technical, you can go towards asset management, portfolio management, trust fund, REIT. You have. Ultimate goal is to build a portfolio, and then if you can sell that portfolio towards a hedge fund like Bain Capital or Blackstone, a TikToker can't do that. We can at some stage, and we're heading towards that direction. So that's all. I guess today's moral of today is, don't have tunnel vision. Sometimes you got to step out from, because every other time, try assessing yourself. What am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something different? How can I do things differently? So this was just a completely different perspective, where because I just observed this, the last few calls, I was just thinking about, hey, what content can I get out of this client? That's it. And so when that sort of gets into a different kind of a discussion where I'm trying to extract that knowledge and structure it, it becomes very interesting. So that's it from me. Anything? Do we call the leaderboard? Do we? Last week? Okay. Okay, great. Consultant of the week. My God, earlier I never used to see you, now I see you every week. Amazing. Good job. Good job. Good job. That's amazing. I love seeing growth stories. I've seen this guy sit, I don't know, till 12 midnight in the office, and I don't know what the magic button is. What is the magic button, Puni? Just keep at it.
Just keeping at it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing every day. Been following your comments on me, personally. I have been always taking it.
Yeah.
those constructive feedbacks from you.
Yeah.
So
He's
what-
begun to look different, right? My God, like I see, and see, for me, thing is like being that third party person. When I see someone's growth, it's amazing, man. Good job, bro. Good job. Yeah. So I think that's it for this week, and I think let's keep it short. Also, too many long, boring sessions. any okay? So this week, what are we focusing on? I think Aldar's Yas point is something interesting. I love the project that Fair showed me, the commercial one. It's called One District.
District, yeah.
Seriously, it's called One District. Raw District, One District. They didn't think of another name. What is selling right now? Raw District.
It's Russian delivery.
We will do One District. They didn't have a branding team, I guess. Okay, but that was really.
Actually, they had. It was the best event.
It was so good.
The best event
Yeah.
I've ever seen in my life, not in Dubai. It
Yeah.
was so well done. They basically created an emotion,
Yeah.
which most of the developers, they just spend money and go
But
eat and live.
is everyone aware of that product, Avenue? Yeah, everyone's aware? It's
Yes.
quite interesting. See, now some people over here are focusing on a certain location, okay? Don't distract yourselves with multiple launches. Stay fixed. If you are clear on one area you want to sell, like Imtiaz and me had a session where he was clear on a particular section of Dubai, and that's it. He's going to just stay focused on that. Doi, I told you which location. I think you should just stick to that. Next 5 to 10 years, you're sorted, okay? So if you have found that one product that you're convinced on, just stick to that one product. You don't have to sell everything that comes, okay? This is for people who haven't found that one product, okay? So I think that was a very interesting product. Aldar's, the one in Yas Island, yeah, it would be very interesting depending on the price. Let's see what price point they come up with.